on YouTube. All right, there we go. We are live. We're live. The people, they said that they wanted more content. They wanted more. And, I feel that I'm going to deliver more because it just feels that there isn't enough content that goes on at like random times in the middle of the night.
People want to talk about the games now. We want to talk about it right now.
Talk about them now. We can't wait. Waiting. So I always feel that I have words in life that I dislike. There are words I don't like. And this is my channel, so I can say whatever I want. No one's going to take the show off the air because this is my show. So there are words. So we have time to talk about nonsense like this. There are words I don't like. I don't like waiting. I don't like patience. I don't like no. And I don't like Mr. T.M. Bromberg, who's teasing me about the Yankees. I don't like that. I disapprove. I disapprove of that. You disapprove. So, you can take your teasing about the Yankees and shove it right up your ass. I'm a Yankees fan, so too bad. I don't think so. He acts as if I watched the Yankees game, or I know even what happened in it, or I even know who Lindor is. He acts, what am I going to, I could not answer your start sit questions. I can not answer them in the future if I didn't answer them. Okay, so we're going to talk about the games. We're not going to talk about punishing Mr. T.M. Bromberg anytime more than we already have. We're talking about the games. So, first, tell the people, who are you?
Well, I'm Ryan. I mean, you've probably seen me before. I've done a couple of shows with you. I'm Ryan. You can find me at RyanPros_FF, producing articles for the Vipers. We did the Fantasy Newsroom today. I don't know if you saw that at all, but Spencer's account got deleted, so we had to do it without graphics.
It got deleted?
It got deleted.
Let's talk about that a little bit more. What do you mean it got deleted?
I went for how you have to log in and get a login code from the email? I went to go, he sent me his email, and I go to get the login code. It's like, an account with this email does not exist. I'm like, oh, it's 11:30 and we're doing the show at 12. I'm like, oh God. So it's just gone.
I think that they should have done a better job. They should have had the show working. If the StreamYard were working, that would be a better service, but it apparently wasn't working.
StreamYard was not working. No.
So what did you do?
We did a show. If you look on the newsroom Twitter, it's just me and Matt with nothing in the background.
I mean,
because we couldn't put anything else up. We couldn't I don't think we could zoom our faces in without a StreamYard logo being in Matt's face.
Oh my God.
Because you can't get the Powered by StreamYard logo out of the thing without the premium stuff.
Tell Matt to respond to my message.
I will. I'll text him.
Tell him that he needs to respond to my message because he needs to schedule his time when he's going to come into Lion's Den and come onto this channel, because on this channel, there's no fear of the show being taken off the air. So, I could be even meaner than I am on my regular show. We don't like to be censored on this channel. I was actually pretty quiet when I was doing my start set show today, though. I was being nice.
Yeah. Ours came too.
But the viewers don't want to hear about that. They don't want to hear about that.
No.
Apparently, the lack thereof viewers. If tell your friends.
I got you.
It's fine. People can, unlike the start sit show, and that's why I'm okay with doing this show. I just don't like editing because I don't see the point of that. It's a lot of effort to edit a show for what? To put in a podcast feed that no one's going to listen to. That's just a lot of effort for no reason. So I just leave the show up, and then people watch it later. I mean, over half the views on AskDLF are later. So, if this is something, if people watch it, I mean, Dynasty Happy Hour does this every Sunday. No, as far as I know, most people don't watch their show live, but I listen to their podcast after, and their takes on the Sunday games are still good Monday morning.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's
So
not like
that's
there's more games
why I
played.
think it's good, just to do it, and then people can listen when they want. So you're an Eagles fan. Eagles fan. So why don't we just start you there? We'll start you there. So the Eagles against the Falcons today, a 32-6 victory. A 32-6 victory. So a big victory. How did you feel about that victory?
I'm full send. Like,
oh, that's my thingy. Trying to play I'm gonna mute ESPN.
I hate when they do that. I hate when the browsers do that.
Well, I'm pulling up the box
the box scores. That's what I'm doing too.
I want to quote it, yeah, so we can at least look at that.
Like, it feels good to have a quarterback that wants to progress. Can I say that? Like, like after all those years with Wentz, it just never felt like things were going forward.
Wentz. You say Wentz?
Yeah, 2 years ago.
I'm familiar with a Mr. Wentz. I am familiar
Mr. Failure.
Mr. Failure. No, actually, I'm more familiar with a Carson Wentz.
Oh,
a Carson Wentz, and also Carson Wentz, and also Carson Failure, who, by the way, really sucked today. Not good. But these are minor details that other people will worry about. The Eagles, 32-6. Jalen Hurts. This sounds good. 27 of 35 for 264 yards and 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. He did not have any interceptions. We know that taking care of the ball was a problem for him, but he didn't lose. He didn't have any interceptions. He did have a fumble, but he didn't lose it. Mm-hmm. He managed to recover it.
I mean, Sirianni looked good in his debut. That's the thing I'm most shocked about. That Sirianni coached a good game.
I know.
The offense was moving.
Yeah, Miles Sanders was better than expected.
The looks they were designing Miles Sanders were better than what Doug Peterson was doing.
Yeah, he did come out in the 2-minute drill, though. He came out. So, I mean, this was against Atlanta, and honestly, Miles Sanders was fine, but not great. I mean, if this was what he did in the best matchup, in a 32-6 victory, this is what he did in a 32-6 victory. Against the easiest defense, a 32-6 victory, this is not raising my value of Miles Sanders.
No.
I'm debating if it's staying the same or lowering it. Certainly not raising. If there's anyone in the chat or in any chat or anywhere, I don't think there's going to be a lot of live viewers for this. I feel like most people are going to view this later. But if anyone if you have a question and you're hearing me, like, just ask it. I'll read it. Unless it's about me punishing you, me being rude, the number of home runs, how I feel about the Yankees. Unless it's about any of those. If I take the banner off, you can see our Twitter handles. Wow. Okay. Anything else about the Eagles?
I mean, I just want to stress that Jalen Reagor and Devonta Smith looked very good today. Both of them did, and that excites me. So
tell me more about Jalen Reagor. What do you think? What did he do well? He looks like he caught all of his targets. I like that.
I mean, I was watching on Red Zone, so I didn't watch all of it. I saw the stat line, but he did have a nice touchdown catch in the end zone. So I forget who it was over. I don't know many Falcons defenders.
Touchdown. I don't remember if I saw Raiders touchdown.
I'm pretty sure it was over defender. I mean, the Dallas Goedert catch. I know you saw that one. That was a nice throw by Hurts.
Yeah,
I was impressed.
Goedert touchdown.
I was impressed by Hurts on that throw. I'm excited. Of course, it's going to get my hopes up a little bit seeing this box score, but I know it's a great matchup. Did
Watkins catch the first 3 passes of the game and then nothing? I think that's a mirage. Quez Watkins. I think it's clear that it's Devonta Smith 1, Jalen Reagor 2, Quez Watkins 3.
Mm-hmm. For sure. I'm just excited to see these receivers do good. So it's been a while.
I mean, honestly, like, given where I had Smith, Reagor, and Watkins ranked, I think Smith and Watkins I had ranked about right. Reagor might have been a little too low. And
after last year.
Low, I think there might be an issue here with Dallas Goedert. Yes, he had the touchdown, but the usage wasn't good.
No,
he was coming off the field too much. I don't know. I'm concerned about Dallas Goedert.
I'm concerned, but it's a nice opportunity to trade him. People see 442 and a touchdown.
I would trade him. They're not going to re-sign him. They don't want him.
No.
So
gonna keep Ertz.
Wow.
Next game.
Yeah. Well, what about the Atlanta? I mean, Atlanta looked putrid. You are an Eagles fan. You know as well as I do that the Eagles defense sucks. It's horrible. It's horrible, right?
Suspect.
I mean, it's horrible.
Suspect.
It's terrible. 6 points. 6 measly points. I mean, Matt Ryan, 4.7 yards per attempt. Unacceptable. No touchdowns. Mike Davis. Wayne Gallman inactive today. Mike Davis, the workhorse. A wonderful, joyful 15 carries for 49 yards.
Hey, Patterson looked good.
Yes, Gallman's going to be active next week, though. Adam here. Matt Ryan could be done. Matt Ryan is done. I said that Matt Ryan was done the whole time. I said that a lot of people maybe didn't realize, in March, they were desperate. The league year was about to turn over. They were $20 million over the cap. They restructured Matt Ryan's contract because they had no choice. And they pushed the money so they cannot get out of it in 2021. They cannot get out of it in 2022. $40 million in dead cap in 2022. So a big penalty. So they committed to 2 years of Matt Ryan. They didn't want to do that, but they did because they had no choice. And now they're really screwed because Matt Ryan looked finished. I mean, 6 points against the Eagles. He's finished. He looked terrible.
I mean, we heard that Julio Jones phone call and undisputed. We wanted to get out of there.
Yeah. Matt Ryan, I think, is finished. So it's too late to sell. I've been saying sell the whole time. I wrote, I'll put it in the chat. I have to find it, but we have time on this show. It's not a big deal. I wrote a Dynasty Danger article. Oh, it's actually pretty recent. Dynasty Danger article about Matt Ryan for DLF recently. So there's the link. And, I wrote sell, and now you can't. Now you can't sell. I mean, he looked like shit. So you can't do anything with that. I saw enough of this to be like, I don't want any part of that. I don't want any part of this. So that's going to be a no from me. The Falcons' weapons, disappointing. When the quarterback throws for 164 yards and no touchdowns, you're not going to be happy. But, I mean, unacceptable. Russell Gage, touted in this great matchup. Goose egg, 0. 2 targets, 0, nothing. Not good. We have 3 receptions from Keith Smith. Who? Who is Keith Smith?
I didn't watch most of the game. I'll be quite honest with you.
No, but
red zone's where I'm at. I know what you mean.
Who is that? Who is Keith Smith? I have no idea. Is that some sort of running back?
I think he's the fullback.
2 carries. So what did he do? I don't know. And then
he is the fullback.
Hayden Hurst, 4 receptions for 28 yards. I mean, what? Really? Why? This team is a dumpster fire. I think this is going to be one of the worst teams in the NFL. So I'll get out now. Kyle Pitts is still going to be good, though. Don't write him off after 1 game. If you can buy low on Kyle Pitts, I would do it. But we might have overvalued Calvin Ridley. We might have certainly overvalued Russell Gage.
I feel like the equation was right because Ridley is that good. But the offense isn't.
Is Ridley that good? I mean, I had Ridley ranked in redraft wide receiver 4. Do you think Ridley's the 4th best wide receiver in the league? No.
Fantasy
wise.
Not
4?
I thought he could do it fantasy wise. I mean, that's what he did when Julio was out last year, I believe.
Yeah. But a lot of that was volume. There was a lot of volume in the Atlanta passing offense.
Well,
and if the volume is going to be putrid coming from a quarterback playing horribly, I don't think Ridley is going to be the high-end wide receiver 1 that we wanted. I am concerned. I am. If Matt Ryan throws for 164 passing yards, Calvin Ridley cannot be a wide receiver 1.
No.
That will not happen. So we have a problem here. And this was against the best matchup possible. What is next week? Let's take a look at next week. Oh, great.
It's the Bucks, isn't it?
At Tampa, yeah, at Tampa. This was home against the Eagles. Now we're coming up on at Tampa, so that's going to be better.
Tough. That's
going to be better. Yeah, that's going to be better for Matt Ryan. He's really going to improve. And then, okay, it gets a little bit better at the Giants. The Giants have a good secondary. And then Washington. So not good. I mean, Matt Ryan's going to spend the whole time on his ass. So I have serious concerns here. Kyle Pitts is so young, though, that I'm not that worried. But
no.
Yeah, not good.
So much time.
All right. Ed, what games did you have bigger takeaways from?
Oh my gosh. Can we talk about not the Falcons? Wrong bird team. The Cardinals and what they did to the Tennessee Titans today?
Titans look like
crap.
The Titans look like crap, man.
Chandler Jones. Pay Chandler Jones the money.
I know. Well, he better get paid his money. Pay that man his money.
5 sacks. I mean,
they better pay him. I mean, they got to.
Kyler looked like he's going to be like in contention for QB1 again, just like last year.
It was the QB1 before he hurt his shoulder.
Before the shoulder, yeah, exactly.
I mean, he had a big day. Let's talk about the backfield. Chase Edmonds, 1263. James Conner, 16 for 53.
Yeah.
Edmonds added 4 catches for 43. So, honestly, it's kind of exactly what I expected.
Mm-hmm.
So Edmonds had the better fantasy day by a lot because of his catches and better efficiency on the ground. But
that's kind of expected. And Murray also took one of Connor's maybe rushing.
It was also a positive game script, which probably led to even more work for Connor. But if this was the best case scenario for Connor, I'm not interested.
Rondale Moore posted the quietest rookie day of anyone. He had a good rookie day, 4 for 68 on 5 targets.
Yeah, if it had been 4 for 69, I think people would have noticed. He's just 1 yard short.
That's fair. We see it on the Twitter, but he had a good
AJ
day, and no one's talking about it.
People are telling me AJ Green looks so great. Did he really? Good 2 passes for 25 yards. I don't see it. DeAndre Hopkins
he did get 6 targets.
He had plenty of targets last year, and he sucked on those. I mean, DeAndre Hopkins had an amazing touchdown.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, and if you still have Dynasty shares of Christian Kirk, now's your chance.
I did not expect that. He dropped that. Did you see the touchdown, or at least the second one? He dropped that right in the bucket.
Yeah.
Kyler's nuts, dude.
But if you can sell Christian Kirk, just get rid of him.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm not.
I can't believe Kyler was going to play baseball there for a hot minute.
I know. Oh, so I would be comfortable now that I've seen a little bit of involvement, I would be comfortable starting Rondale Moore going forward.
Yeah.
Of these, but I think it's clear that I would have DeAndre Hopkins obviously as a high-end wide receiver 1, and then everyone else is kind of sketchy, but I would probably have Rondale Moore as my second choice, Christian Kirk as my third choice, and AJ Green last of that bunch. When I do my weekly rankings, I expect to have Rondale Moore somewhere in wide receiver 4 or wide receiver 5 territory, and Christian Kirk and AJ Green way outside of it.
I agree.
What happened with the Titans? Why did they suck? Why did Chester Rogers lead the team in receiving? I thought that Anthony Berkser was going to have a good day. That kind of didn't happen as well.
I could tell you that the offensive line obviously had its struggles, but saying how Chester Brown led the team in receiving with Julio Jones and AJ Brown, I couldn't tell you. It kind of happened.
Yeah, no, I don't know.
It kind of happened there.
I mean, he was just Josh Reynolds' backup as the wide receiver 3. I think who I think they actually miss? Darrington Evans.
Yeah.
I think they miss Darrington Evans because Jeremy McNichols just does not cut it as the pass catching back. He's just not good enough. So I actually think they're really missing Darrington Evans, who's on IR. Anthony Firks are disappointing, but at least he was involved in the offense. Jeff Swain dropped the touchdown. And there was this whole thing about Nick Westbrook-Ikine, who suddenly was getting involved. I was like, what are we doing here? We have A.J. Brown, we have Julio Jones, we have Derrick Henry, and this is our idea of an offense. So, man, not good. Not good. Ryan Tannehill didn't look good either. 6 sacks. 6 sacks, 2 fumbles lost, an interception, only 1 touchdown is not acceptable. So
that was all Chandler Jones. Dude looked unstoppable. We already said that.
Unacceptable. It's still unacceptable. I mean, did Chandler Jones prevent him on every one of those passes from having more passing yards?
No. I mean, he didn't. I'm more impressed with the Arizona Cardinals, and I think they're better than what we thought they were going to be. After I saw them stop Derrick Henry 3 times on the goal line in a row, like
I saw that. Yeah, I was very impressed.
That takes something to do that.
I was disappointed. I was disappointed in one thing. I was hoping Mekhi Sargent would get an
playing time, really. No. Did he? Only 1 carry.
1 carry. Yeah, no, I was hoping, but no. All right. Other takeaways. I guess we talked about. Let's talk about the Giants.
Yeah, we need to.
Talk about the Giants. Okay. Let's talk about them. Okay, Daniel Jones. He was doing so well, and then he put the ball on the ground. He put the ball on the ground again.
Yeah, he did.
Another fumble. That basically ended the game. Kenny Galladay, don't be fooled by his 4 for 64 line. He had 1 reception until garbage time. Sterling Shepard acted as the wide receiver 1. Also, don't be fooled by Darius Slayton's line. Kyle Rudolph, a big fat nothing. 2 for 8, filling in for Evan Ingram. So that was total bust. I thought he would be an interesting streamer this week, and then literally just nothing. Sterling Shepard was the only viable wide receiver. I mean, he was wide receiver 1 this week for the Giants. He played as the wide receiver 1, not Kenny Galladay. So I am severely concerned about Kenny Galladay. I just don't think that that's going to happen. And Sterling Shepard is going to be in wide receiver 4 territory for me moving forward.
I can definitely agree with that one. I mean, we had to talk about Saquon. It's gonna be a couple of weeks.
10 for 26.
Till we see him back.
Not good. Not good. I wouldn't panic just yet, but the next game is in 4 days at Washington, so I'm not sure how much better it's going to be. I will say that I'm probably going to force Saquon into my lineup again because it's Saquon Barkley. So I don't know how I could bench him, but I'm probably going to have him lower than I had him this week. I had him 14 this week.
I mean, the defense is better. Washington's front 7 is probably the best in the league.
We also have the data point of him looking bad. So
yeah, it's a lot of factors.
I'm still going to have him as an RB2, though, so it's probably still going to push him in there. It is Saquon, and he is one of the best running backs in the NFL. The rest of the team looked awful. The defense was embarrassing. Melvin Gordon somehow is breaking off a 70-yard run. Really? That's what's going to happen. Terrible. They're allowing Albert O to succeed against them. Albert O had a great touchdown.
That was a nice touchdown.
Yeah. Javonte Williams didn't do really anything. But Albert O also
work. He got the work. He got almost 15 carries.
Yeah, but Gordon looked a lot better. I don't know. I'm not worried about Javonte Williams. I was bold. Honestly, I ranked Javonte Williams ahead of Melvin Gordon. He got more work. I wasn't really that wrong, but Melvin Gordon broke off a long touchdown. It happens. Well, actually, it shouldn't happen. It only happens because the Giants' defense is an embarrassment. Joe Judge is embarrassing. This whole team is an embarrassment, and I think that they're going to have a new quarterback, new coach, and new general manager going into 22 because this is just not going to work. This is not going to work. The Giants are a failure. They're a failure. There is an organization failure. So we're going to have to cancel. I'm
just going to let you keep speaking on your team, man. You're the one that knows your team best.
They suck. They suck. They performed horribly today. They were horrible. And if KJ Hamler had caught that long touchdown, then it could have been even more of a blowout. It literally was in his hands. He just has to catch it, and he failed to do so. Broncos, Teddy Bridgewater looked really good.
He really did.
Good. He looked good.
I was impressed.
Like a solid starter. The Giants' secondary isn't bad. Yeah. Unfortunately, he will now have no Jerry Jeudy for the next 6 to 8 weeks.
Yeah, that's a bummer.
I know. I was right, too. I was right. I mean, we saw what the usage was. We know who the number one wide receiver there was. He was leading the team in targets when he went out. Cortland Sutton, nowhere to be found. Because that's the way it was going to be. Jerry Jeudy was the wide receiver 1 and the top receiving weapon on this team. They certainly used him that way. He looked that. And now we'll never see it this year. It's a high ankle sprain.
Yeah, we've seen.
He's not going to be Jerry Jeudy in 2021. So he's going to come back and play, especially with the Broncos' performance. It looks like they could be a playoff team. He's going to return to the lineup, but he's not going to be Jerry Jeudy.
I mean, we saw that take out Saquon, and Saquon's otherworldly when it comes to, that kind of stuff.
What did it really take Saquon? Saquon recovered down the stretch. It took Saquon 9 or 10 weeks to really be 100%.
And he's like a
freak compared to Jerry Jeudy.
Yeah, exactly. He's the upper echelon.
Jeudy is not a freak athlete. I mean, he's a freak athlete because he's in the NFL.
Of course, but he's not
compared to other NFL.
Comparing them on levels, Saquon's above.
Jerry
most
Jeudy didn't have like an exceptional combine. The only reason it was so exceptional was because it was good with all of the other production and route skills. That's why it was so good, is because he was a lot faster than they thought he would be. And he was better at the drills than they expected. But that's sad. Noah Fant probably gets the biggest boost for me from this. 6 for 62 on 8 targets. The reason I was so against Fant was because I didn't think he had much of a path to being a top 2 weapon on this team. But now that Judy's gone, he has path. But there was still a lot more of KJ Hamler and Tim Patrick even before Jeudy went out. And also too much Albert O. If this is a selling window for Fant, I would take it and get out.
I agree. I mean, he is still dealing with injury, isn't he?
Fant is always injured. Fant is always injured. He's injured now.
It was last year. Was the ankle last year, or was that this year?
This year is maybe it's an ankle.
I think
there was also a knee thing at some point.
Yeah, I don't know.
He's always injured. And, I think that Cortland Sutton is going to, start to return more to health. And then I just don't believe. I don't believe. I've not really ever believed in Fant. So this is going to be the most I think his value is ever going to be, is right now. He had a pretty good game, and Jerry Jeudy's now out. So I think that now's your chance. And I would
max value. But if we're moving on here, you're still going? Go ahead.
No, I think at this point, even in a non-premium league, I think you might be able to get first for Fant at this point. People are desperate. At tight end, I would just take it. Move on.
I would take it first, easy.
I'd take it. Yeah, take it. But yeah, I don't think there's anything else to say about the Broncos, really.
I was scrolling through here, and there's something we probably should have let off with, and I think you know where I'm going with this one.
I don't.
Jameis Winston.
Oh.
Did you MVP candidate after week 1?
I mean, I said Jameis was going to start all along, so I'll take the credit.
My man looked amazing. I don't know how much of the game you got to watch.
Not much. I mean, he only passed for 148 yards?
Yeah, but he didn't have to pass for insane amount of yards. He had 5 touchdowns. I mean, he found Juwan Johnson twice. Adam Troutman was the most targeted tight end on the team. I saw that going around in the group chat. There's a couple tweets about that. So I don't know what's going on there. Marquez Callaway was not the preseason, hype machine that we expected.
Nothing at all from Marcus Callaway.
It was 2 targets. Chris Hogan caught a touchdown. Kamara caught a touchdown, which is expected. And then, yeah. I mean, Tony Jones got a good, decent amount of work.
I made a trade today.
Oh, boy.
I made a trade today. I traded away two of the players we just talked about. You're probably not going to like it. This is very much a me trade. I traded, it's tight end premium. So I dumped, I like doing this. I dump all players like this and get real things. So I dumped Tony Jones, Juwan Johnson, a 4th and a 5th round pick for a 2nd.
Oh, I like that. What? Then not even in a tight end premium?
No, it is. That is tight end premium. 1.7.
I like Juwan Johnson, but at a 2nd, I'm good. I'll take the 2nd.
But it's all of that.
Oh, but 4th and 5th are nothing major.
Yeah, no, I know. I know, but it's the kind of thing where the way I see it is like I'm better at drafting, and I picked up Tony Jones and Juwan Johnson a month ago for nothing. So I turned nothing, a 4th and a 5th into a 2nd. So I just created. So essentially, I created a 2nd round pick out of 4 nothings. I turned 4 nothings into a 2nd round pick. So, it's also good because I'm tanking, and now I would have to start Juwan Johnson. I got away with not starting Juwan Johnson this week because I felt like, oh, well, he could do nothing. It's not obvious that I have to start him, but now I would. So, because the league touchdowns, trade addicts, the league has anti-tanking rules. So, I feel like now, in the spirit of the rules, I would have to start Juwan Johnson. But now I don't have to because now he's gone. And I also don't have to start Tony Jones anymore because he's gone. And he's the only running back. He's the only viable running back on my entire team.
Wow.
Which is good because now I'm going to lose more games because those players. So that's the other reason I did it. Even if the value was equal, I'm like, second round pick. It's going to be good.
Oh, yeah. This class is iffy right now, but it'll play its way up.
There's a good chance that the only thing in that trade that's worth anything by the next time I care about winning, which is April 2022, is the 2nd round pick, and everything else is completely worthless.
Like I said, I'm higher on Juwan Johnson than most people.
So am I.
I picked him up in every league that I'm in. It was pretty great to see the 2 touchdowns today. I'm not gonna lie.
I highly doubt I do this trade if I'm not tanking. But I just don't feel like Juwan Johnson has real long-term value. And I also think that as you, me, people in our chat, and a lot of people said, Adam Troutman led the team in targets, and also, that I saw on Twitter, absolutely dominated the snaps. I think, and I didn't watch the whole game, but I think that what happened here is Juwan Johnson just entered the game in the red zone. He just didn't play otherwise. And I don't know, he's caught 2 touchdowns today, but next week could be 0. And then his value goes way down. So I actually was pleasantly surprised with Johnson actually kind of did what I thought he would. But I was actually pleasantly surprised, not the 2 touchdowns, but Johnson actually had the role I expected. Yeah. I actually think I have Johnson, in Dynasty ranked appropriately. But I actually think I have Troutman a little low because Troutman was the every down tight end. Troutman was, everything that he was kind of supposed to be going in.
Yeah. For all the trade windows that were created today for the trade players away, I think this is the one that's largely for. Once people catch on to the 6 targets.
I don't think, but I wouldn't trade Adam Troutman away because his value is so low.
Oh, I wouldn't. I was saying trade. I was saying trade 4.
Yeah, trade 4.
Yeah, trade 4. That's the one window.
Not in Troutman. It's more like I'm a little bit more bullish than I was, but I'm not going out and trading for Adam Troutman. I do think if you can get rid of Juwan Johnson at a good value, I would do it because I don't think the role wasn't there. It's just a mirage, the 2 touchdowns, but the role was not there. Marcus Callaway is a panic. It's with a guy like that who never did anything and now the role's not there week 1, I'm panic alarm. The value was way too high. So I'm going to be adjusting him downward. And Deontay Harris, yeah, I think that's just a flash in the pan, but I need to do a little bit more research into what his role really was. How many snaps did he play? What was he doing?
I need to look into the numbers as well, but I'm not trading away or cutting Callaway. The game script was
cutting Callaway.
No. I mean, Jameis Winston
Trading
only had
away.
20 attempts. Like, it
I
wasn't
mean,
a
if I
pass-heavy
can
game.
still get, if I had Callaway on any teams, I wouldn't have taken him into the season. He would have been gone. I would never have carried him. So I would trade him away at his price originally. So I wouldn't be in this situation. But if I were, and I could get 80% of what he was worth 24 hours ago, I would take it and move on. Because that's still a lot.
It still is a lot. But I'm just saying there's going to be better game scripts for these pass catchers.
Sure, but I think he was like 75% overvalued before. So
that's
I
fair.
didn't want him before, I don't want him now. The Packers.
Yeah, we gotta talk about the other side. Oof.
Oh boy.
Oh my.
Not good.
I don't know what you want to start with because there's a lot to unpack.
Well, everything was bad.
Get it, unpack, get it. Unintentional.
Everything was bad. Here's a few things. One, it doesn't matter, but Marquez Valdez-Scantling is their wide receiver too. It doesn't matter, but he's the wide receiver too. For now, he is their wide receiver too. That is clear.
I mean,
number two,
than Adams.
Yeah, no. He's their wide receiver too.
Yeah.
Very. Number two, Aaron Jones. Not good.
No.
Not good. 5 for 9 and equal carries with Kylan Hill and one more than AJ Dillon is not good. This is going to be a committee. So not good. I was never in on Aaron Jones in Dynasty. I've never been in on Aaron Jones in Dynasty. I've always been out on Aaron Jones because he came up and rose as an older player. So I've always been out. But I don't want him. So this is very concerning. Other than that, Robert Tonyan, I'm not pushing the panic alarm. He did have 4 targets, which is not bad. Not great, but not bad. Yeah. I mean, look, the whole performance was putrid. I think that you should throw it all in the trash can, except for the takeaway that, we didn't really know who's the wide receiver 2 going in. Is it MVS? Is it somehow going to be Amari Rodgers, Randall Cobb, Allen Lazard? It's MVS. Then that's it.
I agree. I like the narrative going around that Aaron Rodgers is trying to play his way out of Green Bay the other way now.
Ridiculous.
I know.
That's ridiculous.
I know. I'm just saying. I had to throw it out there.
He is 37 years old, so I am going to be watching for signs of decline. I know that's like a blasphemous thing to say because he was the MVP last year, but Peyton Manning. Let's just remember that Peyton Manning went from best quarterback in the league to unusable in one season. So it is possible that
55 touchdowns, the Super Bowl champion.
Yeah, and then he stopped. He won the Super Bowl, he stopped. So
he stopped, yeah.
I'm not hitting a panic alarm on Aaron Rodgers just yet. Aaron Rodgers is a Hall of Famer, and he deserves more than a 1-game leash. I'd say my only real panic is Aaron Jones. With Aaron Jones, I have issues here. I have an issue. Why did he only get 5 carries? That doesn't work. And they were behind, right? So they were behind. Why didn't he get involved in the passing game more? Why only 2 targets, 2 receptions, 15 yards? It does not cut it. Aaron Jones was supposed to be, the whole idea was AJ Dillon, big back. He's going to take more of the bruising work. Aaron Jones is going to play an Alvin Kamara type role. I didn't see any of that. So I have concerns with Aaron Jones from this game. I already had them, but they've been when something confirms your priors, you just magnify it. It's more concerning than it would be otherwise. We have something in chat. Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah. We have to talk about this one.
Because this was like one of the biggest things that happened. We're not going to talk about what I did in Scott Fishbowl because somehow
I did the same thing.
No, we couldn't have been that bad because somehow I managed to have Mark Ingram and Elijah Mitchell on my team at times this week and entered this week with neither of them on my team.
I didn't do that. I only one of them.
Yeah. So somehow I managed to have both of them on my team at a point, and then somehow neither of them managed to find their way onto my team entering the week. So this is why I'm retired from this nonsense. Like I used to like playing fantasy. I think 2020 ruined it for me forever. Forever is a long time, but I've talked about this a lot. Like I prefer, maybe the more brutal way to say it is I prefer to just give you advice and help you guys win. But if you don't win, it's not like I'm not beating myself up over here. Like I want to do the best I can. The thing I like the most is when I get people thanking me for helping them win. That really makes me happy. But to be honest, most people when they lose don't come and tell me being like, hey, Tyler, fuck you. Your advice sucked. I don't actually get a lot of that. I get a lot of, hey, it didn't work out this time. It's all good. Next week, I'll come back to you. I trust you. Mm-hmm. We're gonna, keep trusting me. Yep. So I get mostly positive feedback about that kind of stuff. But when it's on my own teams, it just does something to me. Like
puts in a vibe.
Yeah, and I'm also kind of an all-in or all-out person, and I'm not all-in on playing fantasy football. I'm just not. I wasn't last year. The COVID thing really hit me very hard. Not COVID specifically, but like the COVID issues just kind of killed a lot of the enjoyment for me, and I never really returned. And that's why I enjoy doing my Patreon. I'll put the link in the chat. I always do anytime I do one of my shows. And the reason I enjoy doing that, and I talk about this more on this show and my channel than I do, because this is my channel. So, I talk about it. The Patreon is important. I mean, that's, without that, that kind of supports a lot of the other stuff that I do. So, I hate to always bring it up that way, but it is true. I mean, the money from that helps me be able to do these kind of things. And this show is obviously free. I want to keep it that way. But, that's the Patreon allows me to do that. So what I do on there, I mean, I work with you. It's essentially like having me be your co-manager for your team. I'll help you. You make the decisions at the end of the day. You're the one who sets your lineup, not me. You're the one who makes the trades, not me. You're the one who does waivers, not me. But, I will help you, and I'll be there for you to talk to, and I'll walk you through it. I'll hold your hand if you want. And, we can do it that I'll just tell you everything, what to do. There's some people who like it that way. Others are like, I'm mostly good, but I just want to be able to ask you a question whenever I want. And, that sometimes it's like once a month. And I'm like, okay, that's fine with me too. Like if that's, more independent. And, sometimes I come in and I see the team and I'm like, oh, your independence is over. We need to fix this. So sometimes I have to be a little bit more aggressive because I want to do the best for you. But it actually works better for me when I'm invested for your success. You watching this show, you on my Patreon, and I put up the link here. And you being just, even you, Ryan, or other people in this industry, it works better for me. For some reason, wanting to win the fantasy leagues, I was not interested in that. I'm interested more in growing this channel and other things, but I'm not a lot of interest in that. So why this comes up is like I was like trying to update the ranks last minute with like Sermon being inactive, which was, I mean, how often does that happen, right? I mean, just inactive running back. I mean, that's kind of
happened twice today.
Right, Sermon and Zach Moss.
Like, yeah.
Okay, there were a few other inactives that were interesting. I mean, there was Odell, but like
that was an injury. This was
in advance that there was a possibility that he might not play.
These were healthy scratches.
He was expected to play, but there were ideas. And Wayne Gallman was a healthy scratch, but he was a new signing. This is not crazy. Trey Sermon and Zach Moss were like, some people thought these were the starter. Zach Moss, I thought, was the starter. I had Zach Moss ranked as my starter for the Bills in my start-sit ranks. And I was like, he's inactive? What? That one was crazy to me. And then Trey Sermon being inactive. And then now we're suddenly hearing, and Kyle Shanahan, I'm really getting a little sick of him. Now we're hearing
he's very quiet about everything.
Yeah, you're telling us now that Trey Sermon was behind Elijah Mitchell and JaMychal Hasty in camp. Now you tell me, like, why that information would have been good beforehand.
Yeah, I mean, especially with the injury to Ayuk too. Like, we had we had nothing on that. Now Deebo Samuel came in, had 9 for 180 and a touchdown. Like, it's difficult to navigate the 49ers.
To be fair, I was pretty in on Deebo this week. That part I got right. The Ayuk just being a non-existent, utter non-factor, not so much.
It's irritating because the 49ers are such an explosive offense, but this stuff seems to happen like all the time.
And then Raheem Mostert is injured too. So, I mean, at this point, Raheem Mostert, I mean, how long do we know anything about how long he's going to be out?
No, I didn't see anything at bare minimum.
Nothing, right? I mean, we don't know. We just know he had a knee injury, which is bad because he's had a lot of them.
Yep.
I don't know if he's going to miss time, but do you think he gets that job? Let's say he doesn't miss time. You think he would just be – I think he would just be reinstalled as the starter, right?
I agree.
But let's say he does. Let's say he misses significant time. Let's say he needs to go on the 3-week IR. So he's gone. So then Jeff Wilson is on the PUP. So he still has 5 more weeks. So he's injured. So they would only have Mitchell, Hasty, and Sermon. That would mean Sermon would be active at least. But do you think they would stick with Mitchell as their starter?
I feel like they would. I mean, I didn't see the exact box score because I was too busy, worrying about the craziness at the end of that game, how the Lions almost came back all the way.
Yeah, Mitchell was 19 for 104 and 1. Mostert 2 for 20 injury. Hasty 1 for 3 and 1. So he vultured 1 touchdown, and that's it.
That's what I remember seeing. Because I didn't know how many carries Hasty actually got. I know Mitchell had that big stat line, but
1 carry.
Is this Kyle Shanahan finally being forced into giving a workhorse like running back role? Is this what this is?
Well, he's not going to do that because he was forced into it because he lost one of his running backs. So now he's going to have a 3rd running back active at the start of the game again. So he's not going to do that. Now,
that's fair.
When it comes to rankings, I mean, for me, Trey Sermon is just done. I mean, not done, but
he's droppable in redraft.
Forget. Well, I'm not even.
I'm saying redraft.
I'm probably going to give it 1 more week because it's Kyle Shanahan. Next week could be different. Next week could be. Could be. Because last year there was Jerick McKinnon. Jerick McKinnon is our starter. Actually, no, it's going to be Tevin Coleman, and then 21 carries for Jeff Wilson. Tevin Coleman was our starter, but then he got tired. So I'm going to give it another. I'm not going to drop Raheem Mostert in redraft. JaMychal Hasty, clearly, if he didn't even get involved in this game, so you don't need him. And then Trey Sermon, I'm not going to drop him, but if he's inactive again next week, you can drop him. What about Dynasty, though? This is mostly a Dynasty channel. Like, at this point with Trey Sermon, would you rather have Trey Sermon or Myles Gaskin?
Oh, Myles Gaskin, easy.
Trey Sermon or Damian Harris?
Damian Harris.
Trey Sermon or Darrell Henderson?
Darrell Henderson.
Trey Sermon or Michael Carter? Same problem.
The same problem. Yeah, this is probably right where I'd put Trey Sermon.
I think I would have taken Michael Carter if Raheem Mostert didn't get hurt, and we knew that Trey Sermon is probably going to get another chance. But without that, I'm going to drop Michael Carter in my rankings too. That could be another one. Total disaster. Trey Sermon or AJ Dillon?
Ooh.
this point, I'd probably rather have AJ Dillon.
Yeah, I agree.
He has better draft capital.
And, the workload's going to be
He had
there.
more
At
of a
least.
role than Trey Sermon this week.
At least a role.
He had
At this point.
role. He was active.
Receiving touches, the most touches.
Okay, so Michael Carter's also going to move down. So Trey Sermon is still 6 running backs too high. So let's keep going. Okay, I think now we're starting to get to the point where I'd take a gamble. Trey Sermon or Chase Edmonds?
I'm not a big Chase Edmonds fan, but the production he gives you this season, guaranteed.
He gives you something. Trey Sermon could give you nothing. Nothing at all. But it is only 1 week. I think that's where I would stop.
Okay, so if this was not Kyle Shanahan, I feel like we should all be like so out on Trey Sermon. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, but it is. That's the thing.
It is. And like you said, Trey Sermon come out next week, get 15 carries.
Completely.
It's going to happen.
Completely. Next week. Because, as I keep scrolling, the next running back I have after Chase Edmonds is Tony Pollard, and I'd rather take my chances on whatever Trey Sermon delivers, and then after that is Rojo and Fournette. I don't want any part of it. Those are totally useless. So I would rather. So yeah, Trey Sermon is probably gonna. I dropped him 17 spots in my rankings when he was declared inactive, and he's probably gonna drop more after seeing that Elijah Mitchell looked really good, and after Shanahan's comments after the game. So he's probably gonna drop another 15 spots. Michael Carter also is gonna have to drop, but yeah, he'll probably settle in right above Chase Edmonds, somewhere in that range.
In value wise, like for dynasty leagues, who this reminds me a lot of?
Who?
Denzel Mims.
No.
The value sank pretty quick.
Well,
not as quick, but you know what I mean. Like Denzel Mims is
minimal talent.
He
received 2 snaps today, even though Crowder and Cole did not play. Minimal had 2 snaps, 2 measly snaps, and Braxton Berrios and Jeff Smith saw time over him. This guy is not gonna make it. So him and his rod and salmon can go elsewhere. I'm tired of Denzel Mims. Okay, Elijah Mitchell, because I think this is the biggest story. Before the game, I had him ranked just below Chuba Hubbard and Rashad Penny, and above Marlon Mack, J.D. McKissick, Gus Edwards after his injury, Darrington Evans, Salvan Ahmed, Tony Jones, Khalil Herbert were all below him. So I actually had Elijah Mitchell pretty high compared to.
He's going higher, it.
Yeah.
Elijah
Mitchell about who?
Oh, I need to go back and watch Elijah Mitchell's carries today.
Well, I did an article on Elijah Mitchell pre-draft, I think, where I actually watched his college tape, and I thought it was pretty good.
He showed it today.
Yeah.
Biggest story.
So Elijah Mitchell, I'm just going to scroll up. Rashad Penny. Elijah Mitchell or Rashad Penny?
Oh, Elijah Mitchell, easy.
So I think we're going to need to get past Rashad Penny, Chuba Hubbard, Phillip Lindsay, Michelle Moss, Singletary, Jamal Williams. You'd prefer Mitchell over all of those?
Easy.
Okay. Next, we come to Kenyon Drake. Hasn't played yet. Mitchell or Drake?
Mitchell, but I'm kind of nervous with the whole Josh Jacobs thing that Drake's value could.
Well, yeah.
He could take a little bit of a rise.
Get to about the right range. Mitchell or James Conner?
Give me Mitchell.
Alexander Madison?
Mitchell.
Kenneth Gainwell?
He looked good today, too. Limited work, but he looked good today as well.
We're starting to get to the right range.
Yeah, it's starting to get to the right range. That's a toss-up.
It's going to move down. Naeem Hines after the extension. Naeem Hines or Mitchell? Hines was decently involved today.
That's probably where I'd put him because Hines is going to be decently involved for the next 3 years.
Hines has about 9 carries and led the team in targets. And then a couple more of interest. Mitchell or Tyson Williams, who we haven't seen.
We haven't seen yet, but reports are pointing to he's going to get, the bulk of the workload.
Right to me. Because after that comes, there's also veterans like Melvin Gordon and Mike Davis Mike Davis is going to move way down after today. But then after that, I think we hit a clear stopping point because we get to Ramondre Stevenson, who I would much prefer.
I would too, but that fumble today did concern me because you know what, Belichick and fumbles.
Harris also fumbled. Davian Harris also fumbled. He fumbled, and Davian Harris's fumble cost him the game. So
Belichick gonna have some meetings.
They're gonna punish them. But yeah, and then Elijah Mitchell. I still think I'm gonna rank in Dynasty Trey Sermon over Elijah Mitchell. I'm not gonna ignore 3 rounds of draft capital based on just 1 week. I think that is a little crazy, but I'm probably moving Elijah Mitchell up about, given what we've discussed on the balance, I'm moving Trey Sermon about 30 overall spots down and Elijah Mitchell 50 overall spots up. So I don't think you can call that an underreaction.
It's not an underreaction.
Reaction.
But we just saw he was inactive, and then we just saw a later rookie come in and take his role, exactly. 20 carries, 100 yards.
That's a very appropriate reaction. 30 spots down and 50 spots up for the other player. That is a massive change based on 1 week.
But it is warranted because it's a rookie that showed he could do it in the NFL.
No, I agree. I just think it's 1 game. People flash for 1 game. I'm hesitant to move Mitchell up more and Sermon down. Are they just going to quit on their 3rd round pick completely? I don't think so. I would hope not. But maybe they will. I don't know.
You know what I'm most interested to see tomorrow?
What?
Dynasty trades with Elijah Mitchell in them. I'm eager to see some of these trades that are going to go down tomorrow.
Eager McBeaver.
I'm excited to see what the return's going to be. Because
I'm sure I'm going to have a Patreon inquest because they all have Jerry Jeudy and they're all going to be panicking. Mm-hmm. Just like they were panicking on Akers. There's going to be an inquest. And I will be available to help them. Okay. So that game was also crazy in a lot of ways. Quintez Cephas had like a heroic moment or two down the stretch. DeAndre Swift was the backup. Oops. Oops. Sorry. Hope you didn't listen to what I said after I turned off my live show. Hopefully you just heard the show and listened to where I was saying that Swift was a solid start. Hopefully you just ignored everything I said after that. Oops. Sorry.
The way the coaches were speaking, you had, a reason to say what you said.
I'm not sorry.
Well, I'm just saying you have a I'm just saying you have a reason. Like there was legitimate, reason behind it.
I think people know that this is a game of managing expectations. I said on my Start Sit show today that, when ranking Ayuk higher, I ranked him pretty high. I ranked Debo lower. I was like, hey, look, I'm ranking Debo at 30 because I think there's a 25 to 30% chance that we're just completely wrong and Debo comes out and is the wide receiver 1 and, Ayuk is not. And, that 25 to 30% chance that I said is what happened. So you always have to build in what's your confidence in that prediction. Like I was 90% confident that Jameis Winston would, or 90 to 95% confident that Jameis Winston would win the starting job. I was very sure. Whereas, like, in some other predictions, like Teddy Bridgewater versus Drew Lock, I was like, I don't really know.
Flip a coin.
Didn't have any confidence.
I have to admit something here. I have a redraft team, and those 2 guys in the left of the sentence are both on that team. Ayuk and Sermon. I have them both.
Yeah, that's not going to go very well
on the roster.
I'm so sorry.
The team is loaded because I had all the picks into keeper league, so like we're chilling. But
well, you're better than the Bears who started Andy Dalton. I called for Matt Nagy's head.
I don't know what's going on there.
Embarrassing.
I sent out that tweet and people agreed with you. I said, who is the first head coach that's going to lose their job? And majority was Matt Nagy, and the other 2 coaches on it were.
I would fire him today. I would fire him today because I think I could do a better job just by putting Justin Fields in the lineup. I would just fire him today. I'm fine with that. Fire him.
I saw your tweets as well. how you don't like how they're using him as like a sub package kind of quarterback, like on run plays. You might have responded to someone who said that.
Did I say that?
You might have responded to someone who said that in a thread. You were in the thread. I don't know if you said the words.
I'm in a lot of threads.
But like,
yeah, most of them are not memorable.
But like, yeah, I get it. Like, you don't want Justin Fields to. It's disrupting the momentum.
It's stupid. He should be the starter. It's stupid. It's stupid. He should be the starter. He should have been the starter the whole time. And that's it. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of Matt Nagy. Matt Nagy is a failed coach who's gotten many years of opportunities he doesn't deserve, and that's all it is.
Pause. You're a Giants fan. You should want this to keep going on. You have the first round pick next year.
Right, but I like Justin Fields more than that.
Yeah, okay. I understand that much.
I also forgot about that.
I'm glad I could remind you.
We have one last thing I feel like we need to cover. We'll cover this one last thing, and then we'll wrap it up.
I hope it's what I think it is.
Oh, it is. Jamar Chase can catch the ball. Jamar Chase is capable of catching the ball, including in in what was it? There was a key catch in overtime.
Yep.
There was a catch in overtime. I mean, there was one at least.
There was
play.
Overtime was a blur to me, except the Dalvin Cook fumble. Everything else was just like
Cook put the ball on the ground. Not good. Not good. Yeah, Jamar Chase 5 for 101 and a touchdown on 7 targets, leading the team in targets.
Beautiful.
Will you rank next week in your start sit Jamar Chase as Cincinnati's wide receiver 1?
I mean, T. Higgins is. We do have to say that T. Higgins is okay. He was out of the game, but he came back in. It was an IV. Well, he missed half. He missed.
Why did he need an IV?
No idea. You saw it in the chat. They're like, yeah, it cuts out T. Higgins.
Maybe he had to make a little poop, just like Lamar Jackson.
Well, if he did, I don't know, but
I love that.
He had the card out for him, and we were just. Everyone was so confused. All Twitter was running rampant with confusion. Like,
who knows what was
like there was no clear route where like there was like a knee injury or like a shoulder or something like that. But I will. I started with Jamar Chase as wide receiver 1. I'm gonna keep him there. Like,
did you rank this week? Do you do start sit?
I don't do start sits, but in my redraft rankings for like the season, I had Jamar Chase higher than T. Higgins.
Yeah. This week, I ranked Jamar Chase at wide receiver 37, which was high. I was probably one of the only people who ranked, that I know of, that ranked Jamar Chase ahead of Tyler Boyd. I had T. Higgins as wide receiver 1. I had Chase 37, Boyd 38. Most consensus on Boyd was like 26. So I feel good that I got that very right with Boyd's 3 for 32 on 4 targets, total bust. So I think I had it right. I think I had it right the whole time. And if Higgins hadn't had his IV, I think it would have been even more right. Although, to be fair, 4 for 58 and 1 probably hits my wide receiver 22 rank on Higgins almost exactly. So I think I did pretty well on dealing with this situation. Uzama had a big play, and Mixon was a workhorse. I told someone, they asked me, Brett and I disagreed. I really hope they listened to me because I told them to start Antonio Gibson and Joe Mixon, and he wanted to start Antonio Gibson and James Robinson. I really hope he listened to me and went with Joe Mixon because Joe Mixon delivered a big game here. I mean, it was, he delivered about 25 points in PPR. It's just off the top of my head. So
around that number. Yeah,
he delivered. So I hope he started.
The season I get out on him. So it's like we said before, it's happening.
Also, KJ Osborne from this game. If you're Dynasty waivers, I said this. I did say it before the season started. I said it. I didn't want to say it publicly because it felt like nobody was going to even know who KJ Osborne was. But I said it in the group chat. The receipts are there. We can go get the screenshot. That I said that KJ Osborne had a chance to be relevant. Those words were said. And here he comes today. Well, do people even know who KJ Osborne is? I mean, the people listening to the show have any idea who I'm talking about? He's was a 5th-round pick of the Vikings last year, and he didn't do anything. But suddenly now he comes out and he has 7 for 76 on 9 targets. He was their wide receiver 3. I think what happened here is they lost Irv Smith, and that just canceled their plans to do 12 personnel. That plan was just canceled. They were like, running 12 personnel with Tyler Conklin and Chris Herndon makes no sense. So I think they're going to go to 11. Chris Herndon did nothing. So forget that. Tyler Conklin is their tight end 1.
Time to go drop Chris Herndon again.
I think in Dynasty I would hang on for one more week just in case, especially in tight end premium. But him and Tyler Conklin should be a lot closer in the rankings than I had. I had Chris Herndon way ahead, and that was not right. But I'm more interested in KJ Osborne. I'm interested in KJ Osborne as a potential ad. And you can take Emir Smith-Marset and just drop him. You can just drop him. You can cut him. You can literally flat out cut him.
I got to watch the end of regulation a little bit, and it seemed like he was going to KJ Osborne more than he was going to Thielen and Jefferson.
Yeah, I mean, look, I still have hanging on the bottom of my dynasty rankings. I have guys like Tyron Johnson, Frank Darby, those are rookies. Marquez Stevenson, Racey McMath. They're hanging around. I'm probably gonna put in Emir Smith-Marset with those guys somewhere in there. But KJ Osborne is going to be higher. KJ Osborne is going to be in with stashes that I like better, like Mike Strachan, Zach Pascal from the same team, Deontay Harris, who had a good game today.
Zach Pascal did too.
James Washington, Tim Patrick, guys like that who I think have some potential. Tyler Johnson, Jalen Guyton. So he's, Emir Smith-Marset is going to be in the dumpster bin, and KJ Osborne is going to be in the I'm interested zone. So I'm going to have to put him on my dynasty ranks and remove Emir Smith-Marset from those ranks. KJ Osborne, I think, is the one player really today, unless I'm missing someone, who I did not rank, who made any impact. He's the one player who was not in my dynasty rankings, who was not ranked, who is going to become ranked, unless you count maybe Cedric Wilson, but that was on Thursday. He's the other one that I did not rank previously, and there's no one else, right? I mean, there's no one else who really emerged from the deep depths of nothing today, right?
No, there's no one that
No
I do want to mention Mark Ingram's 26 carries real quick.
Right, but Mark Ingram was on most.
We know that. I just wanted an excuse to bring that up. What happened there?
That was crazy that he had. But yeah, I'm just looking through some of the other games, and Tyler Kroft had a decent day. I'm not picking up Braxton Berrios. Tyler Kroft also I already ranked him. Yeah. Braxton Berrios, I think, is more of a flat. He's had a zillion chances. There was one other that kind of interested me, and I guess we can close on this, was actually Pharaoh Brown. Pharaoh Brown, not Jordan Akins, Texans tight end, was actually there. Brevin Jordan was inactive. Jordan Akins did nothing. Pharaoh Brown actually led them in targets at tight end. He had 7 targets. So I'm not saying that I'm having a party for Pharaoh Brown, but I would consider in deeper tight end premium leagues adding him.
Oh yeah, I can see that. I mean, the Texans tight end is going to have some value. I mean, it's Brandon Cooks.
Yeah, Brevin Jordan was inactive, so there literally is no one else. Oh, I also didn't rank Cordero Patterson. That's also going to change. He is going to be ranked in there somewhere. But yeah, Pharaoh Brown is someone. I mean, I'm not uninterested. But
we've been at the Texans tight end position for years. What was it? Jordan Akins. A lot of these guys are on and off rosters. I'm forgetting the other names. Darren Fells for a while there. Kahale Waring, if you remember.
Oh my God.
A couple of years back. Brevin Jordan now. We've always searched for the Houston tight end to have value, and it just never seems like they sustain.
I really want to get the snap data, though.
I think that comes out in the morning, if I'm not mistaken.
I mean, yeah, I don't know when it comes out, but I like the PFR, Pro Football Reference data is the best, and I don't know if they have that yet. So when that comes out, I'll look for it, but I'm not like
Sleeper doesn't have it yet. They usually have it soon after.
No. All right. Well, hopefully the people like this. There are not a lot of live viewers, but it's also in the middle of the night, so I don't expect a lot of live viewers.
Only one in the morning.
And we will be back. Actually, you and me.
Yep.
We will be doing start sit at what did we say? We did it for 4 Eastern. I already put it's already up on YouTube, so you can bookmark that. Set your reminder. So we'll do our start sit on Thursday at 4 Eastern. I'll ask for questions that morning. We'll have some in advance questions, but as always, we'll focus on questions live in the chat. So if you're there, ask your questions. If not, we'll do the in advance ones, and we'll have a good show. I had a very, very busy show this morning with Brett, where we got to none of the in advance questions. So if you ask questions in the chat, we'll make sure we get to those. Anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for wherever you're watching this. Just hit the subscribe button, hit the like button on the video, and we appreciate it.
Subscribe.
Like and subscribe.